Hello students, good morning as it is morning here. So welcome to online class. How are you doing? I hope you are doing very great. This is Miss Adana and today we'll be looking at a topic in chemistry for SS1. So let's look at what we are going to be studying today. So, and it's for week 11. So, God being gracious, we come to the end of the term's work. So, by the end of this class, we have finally been able to conclude the topics for this term. So, we have week 11, and we are looking at the topic is chemical industry. That's the topic. We are looking at chemical industry. So, our learning objectives are: one, to be able to define chemical industry, discuss the type of chemical industry, deduce the importance of chemical industry to individuals and nations, and then highlight the environmental impact of chemical industries and how they can be controlled. These are our learning objectives for today. So let's go into the topic proper. From our study of chemistry at the beginning of your first term in SS1, we were introduced into the subject called chemistry. And chemistry was defined as a subject which deals with the which is a study with the study of matter, the reaction that they undergo, that is the changes that they undergo, and how you can convert them into various things. That is basically what chemistry is all about. So in the chemical industries, industries, they use the knowledge of chemistry to convert raw materials to different useful products and chemicals. So with the knowledge that substances can undergo certain reactions to give you a new product, they use that knowledge to manufacture many different useful products from raw materials that is given to them. So these raw materials are very, very important in our day-to-day life. One way or the other, we use every day, we use one product or the other that is coming from a chemical industry. So these chemical industries are very, very important. They are very essential for economic well-being, largely because of their unique and useful and valuable uses of their products. So the chemical industry, in fact, is like some people will say that every sector or everything that produces something is actually doing one form of chemistry or the other. So these industries are very, very important. Even some of the industries, once they are involved in production of some sort, they are referred, they are actually one way or the other doing a kind of chemistry, whether they know it or not. So the chemical industries are very, very important. So chemical industries are classified on the basis of their product. There are quite a large number of them, and some of them are interrelated. You see some industries that are classified as a branch, while in other industries they are embedded inside of those industries. We see that shortly. So let's look at the types one by one. The first one is heavy chemical industries. Now these industries produce certain chemicals in large quantities. Please, they produce certain chemicals in large quantities. So such industries that produce certain chemicals in large quantities are known as heavy chemical industries. Examples of heavy chemicals are tetraoxosulfates acid, that's H2SO4, hydrochloric acid, HCl, sodium hydroxide, NOH, potassium hydroxide, KOH, ammonia, NH3, quicklime, CaO, sodium triazonitrate. 5. Industrial gases such as hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, chlorine, sulfur 4 oxide, and a whole lot of them. So all these chemicals that I just mentioned, any industry that produces them usually they are produced in large quantity. They are known as heavy chemical industries. And these chemicals, they are essential to all branches of industry because the chemicals that they produce are used extensively in industry. So most times they are always in high demand because of the uses that they are very useful in almost all industries. For example, sodium hydroxide is used in making soap. So it's always in high demand. So these industries are very vital or important to other branches of industry. So next type, we look at fine chemical industries. These industries produce certain chemicals in relatively small amounts with high degree of purity. Understand the difference. Now, for heavy chemical industry, they produce certain chemicals in large quantities, while for fine chemical industries, the things they produce are usually relatively small, but those chemicals must have high degree of purity. They must be very pure. So if you notice, I highlighted key points for you. So fine chemical industries, fine chemicals include drugs, food additive, fragrance, and analytical chemistry. If you notice, these things are important in the industry. So they are used in the manufacture of pharmaceuticals, foods, food products, perfumes, and form a bulk of laboratory reagents. So you know, laboratory reagents need to be pure for you to get the accurate result that is needed when during an analysis. Now, fine chemicals are relatively expensive. Okay, now look at, I'm trying to show you image of fine chemicals. You see all of that, they are fine chemicals. Okay, next type of industry, we have petroleum industry. In our last class, when we talked about hydrocarbons, we talked about the fractional distillation of petroleum. They are concerned with the exploration, extraction, and refining of petroleum, then transportation, often by air tankers and pipeline, and marketing of petroleum products. The chief product of petroleum industry are petrol, which is also known as gasoline, gaseous fuels, which are used for cooking in our houses, and fuel oils, kerosene and diesel. So these are the chief products of the petroleum industry. But usually the petroleum industry is a major source of raw materials for many products, including the pharmaceutical industries, solvents used in dissolving other things, fertilizers, pesticides, synthetic fragrances, and plastic. So they provide the raw materials that these other industries need. So let's look at this. So if a barrel of crude oil, which is petroleum, is distilled, these are the various products that are gotten. You see gasoline, which is petrol, form the chief or the bulk of the product. Then you have liquefied petroleum gas, LPG, which is the commonly cooking gas, makes up about 1.7% of it, or 1.7 parts of it. Then you have heavy fuel oil, other products, jet oil, and the rest of them. So you see, if a barrel of oil is refined, these are the various products that will be gotten, that will be gotten from refining those oils. Okay, moving on, we move to the next one, petrochemical industry. Remember, I just said just now that the petroleum industry provides raw materials for a lot of other industries. So the petrochemical industry actually gets their raw materials from petroleum refining and natural gas, and they convert these raw materials into valuable products. The industry produces marketable range of useful products, including plastic, synthetic rubbers, solvent, fertilizer, pharmaceutical. You see, sometimes we are talking about pharmaceutical. Pharmaceutical is appearing in some industries. So they produce materials that are needed in pharmaceuticals, and then additives, explosives, and adhesives. So the petrochemical industries are involved in these things. Their products are used in cars, household goods, packaging, medical equipment, paints, clothing, building materials, and a whole lot of them. So let's take a look at them. You see petrochemicals are everywhere. You see in adhesive, you see in carpeting, cosmetic, fertilizer, plastic, fabrics, rubber, paint. So they are used agrochemicals, detergents, food. So the petrochemicals actually are involved. Why they are called petrochemicals is because they source their raw materials from the petroleum industries and then use them to convert those raw materials into useful products that you are seeing. Then the next one is plastic industry. Do you notice when we talked about petrochemicals, plastic industry is part of the petrochemical industry. You see them, though this industry produces plastic of various form and shape. They are regarded as part of the petroleum industry because their starting materials are obtained from fractional distillation of petrol. So in the petrochemical industry, they produce wide ranges of products apart from plastic. But in the plastic industry, which is, let's say, is a branch of petrochemical industry, produces majorly plastic materials. So they offer services in plastic important to a range of industries, including packaging. For example, most things we use in packaging around us are plastic. Use them in building and construction, electronics, aerospace, and transportation. So the plastic industry supply all of these. These are common plastic that we see around us. Okay, so going on, we have agrochemical slash fertilizer industry. Sorry, is agrochemicals. So agrochemical industries. These are industries. They produce agricultural chemicals. That is the work of the agrochemical industry. They produce agricultural chemicals. That is chemicals that help in agriculture, that are used in agriculture. Agrochemicals include fertilizers, pesticides, herbicides, germicides, fungicide, insecticide, and a lot of others. There are three important elements that are majorly used, especially in the production of in most fertilizer. They are nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. So they are referred to as NPK. There are different grades of NPK. Sometimes you see in the market, you say NPK 2020, NPK 2015, 20. So they are saying that the percentage of nitrogen or the amount of nitrogen is 20, potassium 20, and calcium 20 as 2020. The other grade of fertilizer are ammonium triazonitrate 5, then ammonium tetraoxosulfate 6, ammonium tetraoxophosphate 5, then potassium triazonitrate 5. So you notice that in most of these compounds, they contain nitrogen compound or ammonia compound mostly. So ammonia compounds are usually used to make fertilizers. So these industries are very important in agricultural development to increase food yield. Because of the teeming population, they need to produce some kind of chemical that can be used to increase food yield. So you see various examples of agrochemicals. These are what you have. So next we have food, drinks, and beverage industries. This one, they produce various feedstuffs and consumables. That is things that can be consumed into the bodies, many of which are canned and specially packaged. Many chemicals are used in this industry. Common one is carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide, like I said, previous class, we said that carbon dioxide is used to give refreshing taste to many drinks. All right. So So, like I was saying, let's go back to what I was saying. There was a little hinge. So I said many chemicals such as carbon 4 oxide, like carbon 4 oxide is used to give drinks their refreshing taste. So we studied that in our previous classes. So carbon 4 oxide, benzoic acid, esters, sulfur climates are used for sweetening and flavoring of all these food products. So you see, the food industry, they use the knowledge of chemistry also in the production of food, drinks, and beverages. So let's look at different variety of food. You can see quite a number of them. I told you that somehow even locally, there are a lot of things that are done. For example, in the production of pap, these women might not know they are doing a kind of chemistry without knowing it, because they are actually decomposing, that's fermenting maybe substances that contain starch, like mostly they use maize. So these substances are fermented and then processed into the ogi, which is pap that we consume. So somehow they are doing chemistry without knowing it. So any industry that do a kind of production is actually involved in chemistry. So there are a whole lot of industry around us. So let's go on. We have the next one, pharmaceutical industries. I'm sure we can relate with this. We just talked about pharmaceutical industries, that sometimes their raw materials sometimes are gotten from their raw materials, some are gotten from the heavy from the fine chemical industries, while some other of their raw materials are gotten from the petrochemical industries. So the pharmaceutical industries produce various health and medical items used in the hospital, like drugs, cotton wool, disinfectants. So these things that are used in the hospital for treatment of patients actually to improve health of people are grouped under the pharmaceutical industry. All right, so you see the various pharmaceuticals that we have there. So next, we have soap and detergent industry. These industries produce washing and toilet soap, various detergents and cleaning agents, that are used in our homes, made for washing clothes, for cleaning our body. These industries are responsible for them. So the main raw materials that they use commonly are fats and oil, sodium hydroxide and potassium hydroxide. I hope you are noting these chemicals that are used by these various industries. So I made sure I highlighted the key ones for you. So fat and oil, sodium hydroxide and potassium hydroxide are common raw materials used in soap and detergent, used in manufacture of soap and detergent. So look at examples. These are the products of soap and detergent industries. Okay, next one, we have the cosmetic industries. You know, for ladies, they like looking nice. So these industries actually make products for that helps in beautifying the skin, and helps in general clean up sort of. So these cosmetic industries manufacture and distribute cosmetic products. They include color cosmetic like foundation, mascara, skin products such as moisturizers and cleansers. You have hair products, shampoos, conditioner, hair color, and they have toiletries like bubble baths and soaps. These industries are responsible for them. Sometimes you see that the soap and detergent industry can actually make some toiletries for like bubble bath and soap, can also be produced by the soap and detergent industry. So you see, some of these industries are interwoven. So let's look at images. So you see various cosmetic products. These are coming from cosmetic industries. Now, the next one is cement industry. Cement is made by heating a mixture of limestone and clay in a large furnace and the product ground into fine powder, bagged and sold. Now this cement is a binder. It is used in construction and building to set, harden and adhere other materials together. So in building industry, chemical cement is the major, is one of the major major material that is needed in this industry, and they are produced by the chemical industry. So their major raw materials are limestone and clay. So let's look at examples of these. This is a bagged, this one is bagged. Then you see the way the cement looks like. This is bagged, and then you see that it is used to produce blocks, and here you see it's used to bind other materials, gravel, sand, and the host lot of them in building and construction. So the next one is metallurgical industry. These ones are responsible with extraction of metals, fabrication and refining, then alloying and shaping of metals. Now, in this industry, when we say this, we are looking at, when we say fabrication and refining, extraction of metal, that means bringing it from their natural source. Then fabrication and refining, that is purifying them and putting them into shape, or making them make them look like what they want, that can be sold. Then alloying means mixing of two or more metals together, then and shaping of metal. So you see various examples of products from the metallurgical industry. Okay, next one is glass and ceramic industry. The ceramic and glass industry ceramics and glass are made of inorganic, non-metal substances which are heat resistant and can be used for things that metals and plastics are not suitable for. So they produce various materials of different form and shape, such as cutlery, toilet bowls, wash basins, glass doors, glass windows, glass doors, mirrors, bottles, dishes, and the whole lot of stuff. The major raw material, or an important raw material used in this industry, is sand. Yes, sand, which is in the chemical composition of sand is silicon 4 oxide, SiO2. That's the chemical composition of sand. So that's the raw material used in glass and ceramic industry. So these are their products. You see the way the products are. So these are products of the glass and ceramic industry. Then importance of chemical industries. The chemical industries, like I said at the beginning, is very important. It plays a major part in economic development. So it is important to the nation. So without that, the chemical industry is extremely important for the economy in all countries. Number one, it helps in revenue generation. For example, in Nigeria, we have a large reservoir of petroleum, and so this petroleum have actually produced a lot of money for the country. And there are other material that is gotten from Nigeria. From, for example, we have tin. Tin is gotten. We have a reservoir of tin, coal in Nigeria. So these things have actually helped in generating income for the nation. Then it helps to increase gross domestic product. Gross domestic product, this is an economic term, which means the overall income for a nation. So when this is increased, it means that for individuals, there is increased per capita head. So it helps to increase the gross domestic product of the nation. Then it also helps in science and technological advancement. So in countries that have lots of industries, they are grouped as those advancing industries. Why? Because they have advanced science and technological knowledge in such industry. Then it can bring about international relationships. So there's a relationship between Nigeria and other industries because of they have product. For example, Nigeria have a lot of relationships with other countries because of petrol, because they have petrol. So these chemical industries are very important to the nation. Then to individuals, food. So you see that this industry help in production of food that is important for man. Food is a very important commodity. So there is production of food, for example, packaging of food of various types, even brings about variety of food that people like to consume. I'm sure you are tired of maybe rice. Rice can be packaged in different forms industrially, and you will not get tired of it. But if you are eating it in a particular way, at a point, you get tired of it. So this industry actually use the knowledge of chemistry to process food into different forms that is attractive for individuals. Then pesticide and fertilizers, which help in yielding food, increase in food yield in the agricultural sector. So it's produced by chemical industry. Then personal products and toiletries, like you see, cosmetics, soap and products. You have deodorant, perfumes, body spray, and the rest of them. These are produced by the chemical industry. Then clothing and textiles. These are material produced by the chemical industry that helps in clothing and in covering our nakedness and to look fashionable. Then luxury and comfort. You see, the chemical industry help in the production of things that give luxury, that make life more comfortable for the individual. So you see, these are important. Then mobility, e.g., automobiles. This is another form of importance that the chemical industry provides for individuals. So it makes life more life stressless. So life become more enjoyable with the provision of all these things. Then fuels, which helps in running of cars. Now we can use generator when there is no power from the power authorities because of the production of fuels and others. Before now, when before the knowledge of all these things, life was a bit difficult, tedious. There's so much hard work. Now, a lot of this saves time and saves time for you. So you can actually save your time and save your energy because of the product made by chemical industry. So these are the important. Then next, for everything that has an advantage, there is a disadvantage. So there are very much environmental impact of chemical industries around us. For example, pollution of water bodies. You see this image. This image tells a lot. Even recently, we are hearing about the blast in Lebanon. This is due to chemical storage of a kind of chemicals that is destroying that nation. So you see that these chemicals, much as they provide a lot of good things for us, there are some impact they make in our environment, even to us personally. For example, in the cities, you see a lot of production of gases. Like if you look at this particular image, you see gases everywhere. There's even a recent one that happened in Lagos, gas explosion. So this industry, as much as they are making life comfortable, but there are side effects to them. You see, too much use of fertilizer is destroying crops and all that. You see, water bodies loaded with different form of plastic and polymers that are blocking, they can even destroy aquatic life and stuff like that. So this industry have a lot of impact on the environment. But how can we actually curtail this impact in the environment? Because things like recycling is a very important aspect. So there are some things, especially for plastic, that can be reused. You know, most of these products from the chemical industry, they are non-biodegradable, meaning that they cannot be decomposed by microorganisms. So plastic or some other product can be recycled. That means you don't just throw them away, you gather them together and they are recycled. converted into new products, so the environment is safe. Then other things that can be done is treatment of industrial effluents before they are released into the environment. For gases, it's a bit complicated because it's gases. You can't actually control the gases occupy the entire space that is available to them. But what can be done is to reduce the amount of gaseous substances that are consumed. For example, if you are somebody that like burning refuse, you should stop that. You could do what I just said, recycling. You can do reuse. That means using those substances instead of burning them. All right. So these are ways that we can actually help in controlling the environmental impact of chemical industry. So thank you very much for listening to this topic. I hope you got all that I said. Please, if you didn't get it, you can play the video 2 or 3 times to get a better understanding of what I just passed across. So for your reference, go to the school website. The note is the uploaded note for week 11, please. Is uploaded note for week 11. Week 11 in the school website. Then you can make reference to SLS in Chemistry Book 1. Then you can make reference to exam focus chemistry as well. So this is where we end the term's work. Now, your exam will be coming shortly. Please try as much as possible to go through all the topic we taught during the term. You can, if there's any particular topic you didn't understand, you can play the video for that topic 2 or 3 times. It will actually help you understand the topic. And also send in your question if you don't understand anything, and I will answer you as soon as I get your question. And make sure also that you do all the assignments. Doing the assignments will help you understand what I taught you in the classes. So it's very important to do this. Thank you very much for your cooperation so far. I hope to see you soon. We're praying that this will soon end. I will know that God will answer our prayer. So thank you very much. Keep staying safe and God bless you. Bye.